Hello, everybody, and welcome back. And welcome to those of you who've just joined us. Our next speaker is Vlad Zhovtenko, CEO and co-founder at RedTrack. Founded in 2017, RedTrack provides advanced ad tracking and conversion attribution solutions, helping companies consolidate data across channels and campaigns to improve decision-making and optimize their ad investments. Vlad has over 20 years of expertise, and his work in digital marketing started when banner ads were on the rise. He got the chance to see the demise of Overture to Google Ads, growth of the SaaS and ad tech, and appearance of programmatic advertising. Now he's back to affiliate marketing and analytics, where it all started for him. In this session, Vlad will be covering how the demise of third-party cookies changes the analytic and attribution challenges for e-commerce and D2C brands. Vlad, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm really excited to learn more about this topic. Take it away.
Hi, thank you very much for welcoming me on this event. I'm always happy to share some insights, and that introduction was amazing. I could have done one slide less to explain how I come to speak about all those tracking and attribution things. In essence, what I'm doing just now is sharing how what we learned from hundreds of e-com and also not also e-com but also affiliate clients over the last 4 years, how we help them to address tracking and attribution solution, how it's changed over the last 5 years. So I'm ready to share some visual things. Let me just try to do it the right way with the window.
Yes, I'll let you know when we can see your screen. There we go. I can see it. Thank
Okay,
you.
amazing. So let's start with quite a contrarian approach. Whenever people think about digital marketing, they usually look, well, 20, maybe 25 years back. However, by now I can say that we can look more than 100 years back to this book that's on the screen that describes how you measure the effectiveness of your ad campaigns. And you can find it online. You can check my words. Nothing has changed in the approach much. Tools have evolved rapidly. So we're not talking about how you'll make the decisions, because there are multiple unique businesses, and for each of them, the path to the right decision might be different. What we'll talk about is the tools that will help you get the data to make those decisions, and in some cases, actually help you streamline implementing those decisions towards the media buying campaigns. So, first of all, this is a very dense slide. What I want you to focus here is to just understand what's going on in digital marketing. Overall, the industry seen its beautiful days in the times of first-party cookie and all the analytical tools, probably between 2004 till 2000, I would say 22nd, with iOS 14 put the first big dent into how attribution works. And currently, with allegedly this year will be the year of final demise of third-party cookies in Google Chrome, we as media buyers, especially in e-com and direct-to-consumer brands, they will have to transition to using only first-party data in their tracking and analytics. And of course, there is always Google Analytics 4, amazing tool. However, like one of the presenters on the event I was at said, well, now it's great tool to see the trends. It will not show you accurate data. So what we'll talk here is to how to implement independent tracking, what you should look at, how to make the best choice in the products that fit your needs. And first of all, what is the first-party data? This is something you can independently collect and own. It can come from many different places, from your ad networks, from your website, from your backend, and you need a way to collect it, process it, and store it in a unified way. So usually this means you need to go down to build your own, or like many mid-market small businesses, you probably don't have resources to build your own, and you're not satisfied 100% with Google Analytics, so you'll be looking for a net tracking and attribution solution. And this is what you want to look at when shopping for the best tool. There are three pillars of first-party data platform. One is data collection. And it's very important because there are tools that work on data they get via API. Those tools are amazing. Funnel.io, Supermetrics, so on and so forth, but they're only as good as the sources of data. If you don't get good data in your source, for example, Facebook, then no API integration will fix that. So you need to collect data independently. Important that data by itself has close to zero value for media buying in e-commerce direct-to-consumer space. You're not selling data, you're selling products. So what you need to make sure is that the tool you're building or you're buying has the reports you need that can help you make decisions and generate insights. And again, your needs are different, so you might have different expectations towards the reporting. Make sure it has the reports you need. Otherwise, you'll have the data, but it will be of no use to you because it will be just raw numbers, unprocessed, and very difficult to make the best decision. And then again, all those decisions are usually made just not to enjoy making decisions. They are made to change something in your campaigns, or in how you work with your affiliates, or how you do email campaigns, or how your abandoned cart checkout works. And this comes to automation. However, and that's why it's highlighted here, the most overlooked part of automation is conversion API. When you collect data independently, it's your treasure trove. You can organize it, normalize it, and structure it in such a way to send it back to your ad networks. Facebook, TikTok, Google, Pinterest, Snapchat, whatever other ad channel you're using. And it's essential that this is the first automation you should look for, because if you can feed that data back to the ad network, you will significantly improve over the data that Pixel collects. Because for the purchase event, you may have hashed email or hashed phone number. Share it with your ad network, they'll find more people like those who buy from you. And again, I'm speaking quite basic things, evident, but this conversion API availability and the quality of integration is often overlooked, so I want to emphasize it now. So for the next 10 to 15 minutes, I will walk you through those three pillars, explain them in granular details. So by the time I'm the end of this presentation, you will have a better understanding about all those things, all trackers or all analytical tools are talking about and how they relate to your needs in real life, in real media buying cases. So first pillar, it's data collection and ownership. You need to understand that with most tools, you just see the reports. You don't own the data that went into building the reports. And it's very important. Why owning the data provides you with more means? First, you can get it to other tools like even Looker, another great product from Google, and reorganize it in the way you need if your data collection solution is missing a particular report. It's a way to offset some limitations that you might have and you don't want to overpay for more expensive solution. If you have reports, that's just reports. 2 years down the line, unless you exported all those reports, they're gone. If you have reports and you want to change an attribution model, look at your data at some other lenses, you cannot do this because it will mean you need to recalculate all the data that was collected from you, and it's things that tools that show you only the reports without the raw data, they just don't do this. So first, make sure that with the tools that you get or the solutions you're building, you own the raw data. And make sure that you can leverage it in the ways you need if it goes beyond the reports. And typically, the easiest leverage is being able to recalculate some of the reports on the fly, especially when it comes to attribution modeling. Changing the attribution window, changing the attribution touch points, and doing all those things that you want to do if you have a bit more complex funnel, just one-click purchase. And then these raw data can plug in or serve as a foundation towards a customer data platform that you want to have in this or that way to segment your customer data to know where and which of your customer segments drive the best results. So I also believe that in the future, you will be able to use this data to exchange it with some other ad networks, like you now do with Conversion API, just to help you find more clients, people whom you want on your website. So start collecting that data now. Make sure you have it. Second pillar, the reports. All the reports, or most of the reports that you want to look at and need to consider when picking up the tool can get down to three categories. Reports about ad campaigns. They just show the performance of your Facebook, TikTok, email, again, SMS campaign, affiliate marketing, whatever means are driving you the traffic and conversions. And use those campaigns to find the combination of channels, funnels, landing pages that work best. And this, the core one, that's what probably most of media buyers check on a daily basis. Like what campaigns are converting, what ad sets are converting, what ads are converting. Make sure that those reports are having all the important numbers for decision making. Because quite often you have the clicks and conversions and the revenue. You don't have costs, or you don't have the spend for the particular ad network of the particular channel or the campaign. And if you don't have costs, it means that you cannot make really informed decision about the channel performance. You'll have to go to Excel, copy paste it from, I don't know, Facebook, combine with your data and reports, and try to figure out the performance of that campaign or ad set or ad. And that is also very important because, as you well know, in the same campaign you can have multiple ad sets or multiple ads with different performance results. So make sure that your reports have accurate cost updates up to the bottom most important granular level for the channel. And that's usually either ad or placement. Because if you have costs averaged on the campaign level, they'll give you average results across your all assets. And they will mix best performing and worst performing into same average result, and that may lead into the bad decision. If you don't have this data, you can't make those decisions on the fly. So why even bother collecting the data and having the tool? And just give you a fraction of additional data compared to what you have without the tool. And of course, then you can have all the reports to generate your insights like conversion path reports, attribution model reports, and those are very useful to see how different channels impact your end results. Second set of reports would be product reports. If you run single product store or single product website, like some like RedTrack SaaS, you don't need that, because everybody who comes, they either buy or they don't buy. However, if you have multiple offers, multiple products, you want to see how your campaigns contribute not to overall sales, but to the sales of a specific product, or especially when it comes to subscription businesses, to the lifetime value of those subscriptions, because it may end up that some campaigns, and you see if they adjust the number of purchase and revenue, they give you similarly large numbers. However, in the long run, your lifetime value will come from very different campaigns or objects. So product report is important when you want to look through your data under different lens. Not which campaigns are performing, but which products are driving your revenue, and how you generate that revenue from which campaigns for which products. So that's the second layer of data. And the third one is customer data. From the very basic one, like a customer journey, how a particular visitor interacted with your website, with your ads, with different products on the website before making the purchase decisions, to actually building different customer cohorts, see their LTV, attaching that cohorts data to products and or campaigns. And by these reports, you can segment out your best performing customer segment. It doesn't mean that you should let all the other customers go, but probably if you're operating with limited resources, and that's what all of us do, and those resources are usually budget or time in a day, because you cannot do everything you want to do. So you can focus on the customer segment or on the campaigns that drive you the best customer segments with highest return on investment. So if you have your data, again, the data has little value by itself. It should be used to have reports to power up your decisions. And those reports are sitting into, again, 3 different segments: campaign performance, product performance, and customer reports. So you might not need some of those reports based on your business, but most of e-com and direct-to-consumer brands need all 3 segments to make better informed decisions. And then the last pillar is the automation. Again, automation comes in all the different sizes and shapes, and usually you want to have it as a part of your data collection solution, part of your reports, because you want to have all your decisions, whether manual or automated, that are made on the same consistent set of data, same consistent KPIs. Because if you're making like manual decisions on one data, then your automated tools run on different sets of data, you may not receive the results you would have yourself. So then the question is, why use that automation? So having consistent data for all types of decision making is crucial. And I'll start from the very end. Conversion API, again, all of major ad networks thrive on their ability to get conversion data. Other systems, sometimes aligned, actually proactively limit them from getting that data, because this data can be used to violate, I don't know, privacy, to track people when they don't want to be tracked, etc. However, when they got to your website, you have their consent. When they made a purchase, you can collect additional consents that you need to have their data collected and then shared with your advertising partners or providers. And that would help them train their machine learning or their AI, whatever you want to call it, based on your data, to find customers that you're looking to get better. And in the past, it was very easily overlooked because you would put the pixel from Facebook, the pixel from Google, the pixel from TikTok, the pixel from something else, all those pixels into your backend. So by default, each of your ad networks would see all your purchases, for example, where they were generated. For example, Facebook pixel would see Facebook purchases, but it will also see Google purchases, TikTok purchases, direct traffic, email campaigns, so they would have access to the 100% of data. Now they don't. And if you can help them with properly implemented Conversion API to restore access to as much data as possible, then the results will be better. Two things come here. First, maximize data points. For that, you actively read, if you build yourself, the documentation. If you buy the product, you ask the provider what data points they sent, because there are a lot of tiny details that can be missed and not done, and those tiny details can significantly improve the match score and thus the attribution. Second thing to look here is that you want to send as many conversions as possible back to ad networks. So you can send all your sales to Facebook, amazing. You can send all your sales to Google and using Google, amazing. All your sales to TikTok, amazing, because it helps you feed as much data to their algorithms as possible, and they will do their part of the job of optimizing your campaigns better. Second, management really depends on the scale of your campaigns. You may or may not need that. However, when you have it, sometimes it's nice because you don't want to monitor your campaigns 24/7. So having a simple automation rule that like a particular ad stops performing to your expectations, goes below the benchmark, just shut it down, send yourself alert and notification, and then wake up when you will be wake up, just figure out what went wrong, reset up the campaign. It may prevent up losing, 100, maybe just 50 euros or dollars during that night, but should it happen a couple of times a week, those saved money quickly add up and justify the cost of those tools. And again, the last one we mentioned already, those are alerts, and you want to know if something has changed in performance, if the system has implemented the changes, because if you don't know what's going on, you're not in control of your campaigns, and that's a bad situation. So if you don't have alerts, you don't know what's going on, just don't do any automation, because things may change, you'll not even know why they have changed. And another part which is sitting here is what I mentioned in the previous slides. It's cost data enrichment. Your reports make sense when you have all the data points from start to finish. And part of the start is how much you have spent to generate those clicks, because those clicks come to your website, become conversions, and create your revenue. So if you're not seeing costs and revenues in the same set of reports, you don't know your ROI, and you virtually are flying half blind, because you can do this mental math, or you can do a cut and paste job to the Google Sheets or Excel, but it means that your decisions are delayed and you may not make the right decision in the right time. So that's it. Those are the three pillars of the media buying tool. And again, data collection, reports, and automation. And when you have all three working in unison, your results may see a significant improvement, even the one you would never expect before starting to use those tools. And that's it from me, and I'm happy to answer the questions.
Great. Thank you, Vlad. That was super informative. As marketers, we all spend a significant chunk of our budget on advertising. So having those best practices in place is very helpful. Thank you. We have a few questions coming in. The first question is, how do the new privacy laws affect attribution now and in the future?
Amazing question. I mean, I've heard a couple of panels before, so the questions are great. First of all, right now, there's no unified privacy law that applies to all media buying. So let's assume we talk about GDPR. Quite a lot of tools are using or building their tracking without using any third-party cookies, digital fingerprints. What they use is the first-party cookie. And usually that first-party cookie stores zero personal identifiable information. It's not used for tracking, it's not used for analytic, it's just used for storing the data. And that's it. And this particular use case is not described in GDPR at all. So there is no laws at the moment that explicitly govern the use of those first-party cookies in the way they can be used. Again, as soon as somebody goes to checkout, leaves their personal information, and start being actually tracked towards the conversion event, that's when you do need to get all the consent to collect the data and share the data. Because if you want to send it back, even aggregated to Facebook, you need to get that consent to stay compliant. But usually people, when they sign up for something, they just check the boxes, they give that consent without reading the rules. That's the cookie banner, then you can just switch off all the tracking analytical cookies. So currently, for those tools that don't use third-party cookies, don't use digital fingerprints, use first-party cookie just to store the ID of the session, not of the person, not to track it outside the website, it's a gray area. So the best thing that can happen to the market is that these would be defined. So the next time somebody asks me, okay, by the law, this is how we use the cookie, because right now it's left to interpretation, and I will always give the interpretation that works in my favor, and that
Right.
what everybody would do.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you. Another person is asking you to expand on the CDP or customer data plan that you mentioned.
Okay, so again, first of all, customer data platform is just a layer of data. So as we mentioned, you have the data about your media buying campaigns. And with typical tracking solution, the data includes your clicks and your conversions. Clicks are matched to conversions, and later that way you know your campaign performance. However, in many cases, those clicks and conversions are done by people who come to your website multiple times from multiple channels doing repeated purchases. So this adds another layer of data. Customers. When somebody makes a first purchase, well, you have his data. You have his identifier, whether it's email, internally did something, because now it's part of your system. And that customer record serves as the foundation of your customer data platform. And then you attach all his previous visits, and beautiful part, from all the devices, because he made another purchase from a different device. Well, you know that particular person made a purchase because he needs to leave like a login or to leave his email to complete the purchase, maybe a phone number. It's usually very difficult to make purchase without disclosing some type of personal information. So now his all visits start to add up into the customer profile, and you have a treasure trove of data points across all your clients to really see how they find you, how they interact with your business, how they make decisions. Again, the availability of the CDP is the question to what you're building internally or the tools you are using, and it may or may not be available.
Got it. Yeah, thank you. Another question here, should I still invest in retargeting campaigns? Can I trust my ROI on these types of ads?
The honest question, I don't know. But however, if you're running campaigns and you don't trust the data, then you should at least find the means to somehow validate that data. I would say from personal experience that retargeting campaigns work. However, they are not working in vacuum. To retarget people, you first need to get them to find your website, to find your product. So typically, you need to look at all the touch points in that journey. First, how they learn about your product, your website that exists on the web, they get to it. And if you skip those, you will lose the exposure to new people, and eventually your pipeline will dry out. And then retargeting campaigns, they help those people because most people don't make buying decisions immediately. It takes time, and this time depends on the
Multiple
products you're
touch points.
selling, usually on the the average product price. So those retargeting campaigns help get them back on the website. So you can trust, I think you can trust that data, that ROI. Just keep in mind that retargeting campaign is not working by itself. You also need to invest money into getting those people on your website so that you can later retarget them.
Great, thank you. Someone has asked, can you delve deeper into the concept of owning the data versus owning the reports?
Yes, I can give you a practical example. You can go to Google and ask how much it would cost to get the logs of the data in Google Analytics.
Right.
And this will be a very easy answer to the concept owning the data to owning the reports. Because in analytics, you own the reports, they're yours. They can give you the data, but the quote you will hear will surprise a lot of people. Most people don't know there is a paid Google Analytics. It is. And the quotes are amazing sight to behold. So different people might hear different quotes. So if you want to see how much it costs to own the data, go ask Google Analytics how much it would cost you.
Right, yes. Another question here from someone that sells software, how subscription software, how can we, what tools or reports are available to help us calculate customer lifetime value?
That's what
They
we
may be
do.
looking for a formula or like if there's a tool or
I
something
would
that you recommend.
definitely split that events into a couple of primary data points. First, uh, you have allegedly there are three distinct steps in that journey for subscription services. First, getting the lead. That's like, I don't know, add to cart to initiate checkout in ecom. You need to know how you get leads. If you don't know how you get leads, that's already half blind. The next step is the first payment. It's the most difficult because you need to convince person to start giving you money. Usually all recurrent payments happen automatically, so you don't bother about them as a separate touch points. So lead, subscription, where they subscribe, and then you can bundle up all the recurrent payments. And that's where, for example, CDP comes into play. So you have customer profile, you attached the lead event and the source of that lead conversion, which campaign, traffic channel, ad, etc. is driving it. Then you have purchase event, so you know which campaigns actually help them support them in converting. And then you just attach all the recurrent purchases, and now you have that revenue adding up and building the actual lifetime value of the client. And then you look at this CDP data, all your clients' data through the lens of your campaigns. These were the campaigns you were running in December to generate your December leads. Then you know the time between lead to conversion, December subscribers, and then from December till June, now 6 months, give or take, this is how much recurrent subscriptions they have generated. So this is your real LTV for that particular campaign. And then you can also have modeled LTV, because you know that your average lifetime for the subscription for a particular segment of the client is, I don't know, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. So you can factor this in as a custom formula into a subscription. So if somebody makes a subscription, Say, okay, in this average number of months is 6, so multiply it by 6. That's your expected LTV, and that's expected ROI for those conversion events. So you can make those decisions, maybe not precise, but in the very beginning. And then later on, if you see that for that campaign, for that segment, your average lifetime value is, I know, not 6 months, but 4. Okay, adjust the formula. It's not 6, but 10. Again, adjust the formula and keep getting that data and keep making the decisions, what works, what doesn't work.
Makes perfect sense. Yeah, it's important to know what your renewal or your churn rates are, as well as the average lifetime in terms of how many months or years that customer
But
renews
all
and is.
they built together. So basically, if you know the churn rates, you can model the average number of months the customer will stay with you.
Yes, for sure. Another question that just came in. Must we use lead magnets to generate leads, or what is your best recommendation for targeted lead generation?
As I mentioned at the very beginning, I can talk hours about different ways to do digital marketing media buying. However, as a broad question, if you can get leads because those people who can reach out and sell them something, your product, as long as it works for you. And for each type of business, for each type of product, there is will be a different setup of tools that work best to drive the results. So if you tell me, is leads good for what you do? I don't know. That's if we can find time, talk for some 30 minutes, see what you do, how you do, what are your numbers, then maybe I can help you with getting the answer, but probably can do it yourself. So if you can turn your leads into revenue and the ROI on getting those leads and getting those revenue is positive and in line with all your other efforts or better, do it. If you can just do direct Facebook ads, sell products, your ROI higher than your leads, don't do it.
Right,
Measure
thank you.
everything.
Yes. Another question. We're just starting and do not have time or budget for complex solutions. So what should we do?
Google Analytics.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it works because when you just study on the high level, you need to know what drives you conversions. Yes, you cannot go as granular as you can do with specialized tools, but if you know that these channels give you conversions and your trend is up, it's good. If these channels used to give you conversion, your trend is down, well, it's bad. So the worst case, you don't have any data. Then, well, you cannot make decisions. So you don't have time, you don't have budget, go with Google Analytics. It's free. It gives you good reports, some of them quite granular. It's missing some data points, but again, it's free and you can start using it immediately.
Yeah, that's a great advice. Another question is, can you provide some examples of the automated scaling rules for campaigns?
Yes. So there are two types of rules. One which I would never do as a rule, automated rule, for the any tracking system, and I have not seen it done. It's when it's based on the strategy when people do very broad match and rely on, for example, Facebook to find out, because when you do a broad match, Facebook gets a distinct subset of this broad match audience towards different ad sets. You just don't know which. And it's like a guessing game. So when you see something working, with typical approaches, kill all the ad sets that are not working and duplicate the ad sets that are working. I would never do it automatically because if you set up something wrong and you'll have like thousands copies of your ad set, it will kill your account. You'll just, well, it never load. So that's why I would leave it for manual actions. The second most possible, you know your benchmarks, like the relationship between your budget and your, for example, ROI. So for example, if your ROI is above a certain, let's say 3x, so you want to get 2x ROI is good for you. So if you are at 3x, it means that you potentially can increase the budget, and if it doesn't perform that well, by the size of the additional business, you'll generate more revenue. So the next, and this can be automated, you can set up this ratio between your ROI and your budget. So as long as your ROI is above a certain threshold, you can keep spending more money. And then if you do it incrementally, you can eventually end up on the level where you have the max budget giving you max, I'd say, business reasonable ROI. Because in the end, it's not about ROI, it's about the volume of the revenue generates. So I would always trade like lower ROI on huge volume than huge ROI on like single purchase, unless I'm selling yachts or something.
Right, yes. And there's a follow-up question. What is the sort of baseline or industry average for ROI for ads these days?
There is no baseline, literally. For some cases, media buyers are happy with 20%. For others, they
20%.
want to see 3x and say, yeah,
Right,
if we don't get 3x, we just don't do it.
right.
So there is no baseline. It's again always goes back to the numbers and what makes sense for a particular business, particular product, and a particular channel.
Yeah, and it would really depend on the total cost of acquiring that customer versus ads or email or any other type of
Of
lead
course,
gen that
but
you're
I mean,
doing. You'd weigh those
ideally, you
against each
should
other.
factor in most of your costs, like shipping, tax, etc., into the cost of acquiring the customer. So it's there, and you see not the revenue, but let's say profit.
Yes. And last question is, how are AI tools helping with all of these decisions?
AI tools are helping on, and I don't say it's happening right now, but ideally, AI tools are great co-pilots. So what they should do is they should help you do less manual repeated actions. For example, you need to build a report. You can go in, open a template, but you do some research, you start playing around all the slices and dices, all the dials, until you find something that you like to see. Or you can just type in, hey, I know, my analytical tool, please show me the best performing campaigns. They show best performing campaigns, time saved. Second, again, that's what AI should do. Usually when you see something is performing or something not performing, again, you do actions. You go into your Facebook or your TikTok, you go and start to change in bits, and there's very clear logic in your head how you change bits. Or you start to switch off ads. For example, all those ads that don't give you 20%, 50% ROI after they have went through, let's say, $20 of spent. Instead of doing all those things manually, just like, hey, my tool, please switch off all the Facebook ads that have less than 50% ROI and spent more than $20. Press a button. Ideally, you see what will happen, because if you don't see, well, that might be a surprise. But if you see what happens, just approve, and you save yourself, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 hours of time, depending on how many ads you're running. So that's what AI should do. And last layer of AI, but that really depends on the data availability. They can help you make rookie mistakes. Now, it relies on you having access to some other source of data. And that's when, if you own the data, you can add this data to some sort of exchange. And this exchange will, in return, provide you with additional insights. Like you launch a new product or a new channel. So it's okay. Hey, I have a pet store in US. I have a 4K budget. How do I use it? And the AI processing all the other data shared with everybody else, including you, from your past campaigns, say, okay, then top of the funnel, do this channel, this type of ads, this part of the budget. And for bottom of the funnel, like remarketing, do this channel, this type of ads, this share of budget. This will never be brilliant top-level marketing results. Humans will do it better, but AI can help you not make rookie mistakes. And not somebody being rookie, you're not a rookie. But when you enter the new industry, the new niche channel, you just don't know how it works. So you can pay for that knowledge with your own budget, or you can get some insights from AI if that AI has access to your peers who already paid for that knowledge with their budget.
Great. Well, thank you, Vlad. Thanks for joining us today and for sharing all of your expertise.
It
Really
was my pleasure.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take a very short break and be right back for our next session. See you soon.